Hello and welcome to the latest Lukozer retro game review video. There's a reason why I'm starting it at this point. This is Game Over, which was released by Imagine in, fuck hell, I can't remember when this came out, 86 I think. And this is possibly the greatest example of marketing success. It was purely the marketing campaign that resulted in this game selling by the bucket load, and believe me, it did sell by the bucket load. So why is that the case? Well, if you need reminding, or if you weren't around at the time, this is the cover of the game. This is actually an advert of it. There you go, 1987 it came out. And okay, there are, screenshots which look reasonably okay, but amazingly that's not the thing that most people saw when they saw this fucking advert. So, well, let's cut to the chase. It's sold by the bucket load because there was a pair of barely concealed tits on the front cover. I mean, okay, yeah, it did sell by the bucket load, but let's face it, there weren't too many teenage boys asking their mum to go and buy it for them for their birthday or for Christmas. Now, I did not have this game back in the day because I remember seeing the reviews, and that was quite enough to tell me, no, I'm not going to bother with this one. See, I'm not going to fucking light a fag now because I've got to play this bollocky game first of all. Anyway, let's let the game finish loading. So the music that you are about to hear is composed by Martin Galway. And okay, it doesn't get off to the greatest of starts, at least not in my opinion, but it does improve quite dramatically, because this is one of only two Martin Galway pieces I can think of that features a drum track. The other one I remember is Arkanoid. I can't believe he only did two, but well, maybe he did. Anyway, this game was developed by Dinamic, as in them who did this sounds like it's going right tits up now. Anyway, Dinamic are the people who brought you Army Moves, so you sort of think you know what you're going to get. In fact, the issues with the game aren't that the game is ridiculously hard. Well, I say that, I mean the game is ridiculously hard, but that's not its biggest problem. So obviously you're moving left and right around this area. I can't actually even remember what the actual idea of the game is. You have unlimited shots, but you don't have unlimited grenades. As you can see in the panel there, I've got 21 grenades left. Now I need to jump onto that platform, and it looks like I am absolutely nowhere near it. That was not planned, by the way. But in order to jump on it, as you can see, even though I was nowhere near the thing, I jumped right past it. And this is the biggest problem with the game, is why they thought it would be a good idea to just say, I know what, we'll make it so that when he jumps it's like he's in a zero gravity environment, but any other time it looks like he's wearing, or he moves like he's wearing lead boots. Believe me, I was unbelievably lucky to get through that section. So those hearts give me extra energy. That turret thing obviously will kill you, so it's a good idea to try and destroy them. although I fucked it up. And standing there is not a good idea. Now, yeah, you have to jump into this area here. If I just fell off the edge of that platform, I would have died straight away. So, let's go on with the game part. Graphically, it's extremely bland, or at least it is when it starts. When you get to this sort of area, it's not too bad. I've seen worse. But for the most part, the graphics are pretty unimpressive, to say the least. The sound effects in the game are quite atrocious. The music's pretty good, but you only hear that on the title page. And I don't know what happens when I jump off here, so there's one way to find out. Ah, there we go. This is the boss. And it looks like I've got no chance. Mind you, I do have this invincibility thing at the moment, so maybe that means I can actually finish this cunt off. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Yeah, he's now in the process of absolutely annihilating me, and I can't leave this area now. I've got to finish him off. And that means now that I've probably got no chance, because yeah, now I don't have the invincibility thing. I'll just fuck it. And what the fuck hell am I supposed to do here? If you hold down the fire button and then release it, oh fuck's sake, you then throw the grenade. But if you tap the fire button, he fires normally. So a lot of the time you find yourself throwing grenades when you had no intention of doing so. But then of course there's the jump thing. You jump a ridiculously long way. So when you're jumping it's like you're in a zero gravity environment, but when you're walking, when he just plods along so bloody slowly, it's like he's, well, got lead boots on or something. We'll start another game. So yeah, the game is absolutely horrible control. That thing will kill you if you touch it. So I've got to jump over this thing now. There we go. If I lose a life around here, it will send me back to that starting point, which means I'm going to have to try and get over that poxy, well, whatever it was, looked a bit like a mine, every single time. Okay, well, let's give me that invincibility thing again. And I can misjudge that completely, so you fall to your death straight away. Because I mean, your jump basically takes you from, well, you jump more than half of the screen, which is ridiculous. So it means that trying to position yourself to jump on platforms is extremely, well, tricky, tedious. I'm fairly sure you can at some point walk through those doors. Don't quote me on that, you probably can't, but I thought you could. And I think, oh no, I thought I fucked that up. Oh, I even got that one right as well. And we'll jump off there and we actually get to this section. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, well that thing will kill me anyway, so I don't want to grab it. Because you have to position yourself in such a place that, there we go, that's that thing destroyed. But yeah, you have to position yourself far enough away that you will be able to jump without touching anything. Because as soon as you hit something, you will then fall down and it's, well, another life lost. Again, you have to jump off that platform onto this section here, otherwise you'll fall to your death. So the game design is awful. The controls are horrendous. They are so clunky, it's not true. And well, It's not the worst game Dynamic ever did, but then that really is not saying very much at all. I mean, it beggars belief quite how or why Dynamic were given the like contract or whatever to design these particular games, whether it was this or Army Moves that came along later, or fucking what other shit they did. You can bet your life it was shit whatever they did. There's no point in trying to avoid this cunt's shots, so I don't even know why I did that there. I'm just going to have to keep shooting at him and I'll fucking hit him. It looks like I got to hit him in the head, which means I have to be jumping, and so it means you've got to do the fucking irritating jump, which is difficult to control, and then he fucking jumps as well, so that jump didn't do fuck all. And okay, I mean I'm fucking dead anyway, so it's all utterly pointless. So that boss is just ridiculous. So it's typical Dynamic fodder. It's is extremely bland. It's stupidly hard, but in this case, the reason it's stupidly hard is not purely down to them, you know, ramping up the difficulty level. It's putting in a, well, just fucking atrocious control system, and then making the actual controls themselves so unresponsive and clunky that playing the game is a chore. At no point is it ever actually enjoyable. So that's game over in every sense of the term. It's a stinking heap of shit, and I say, well, you've seen the reason why it's sold by the bucket load. It goes to show that teenagers back in the 80s were every bit as gullible and moronic as they are today. There's no way this game should have sold by the bucket load, but it did. And now you know why, in case you didn't already. It's not the music, although the music is pretty good. So because I like the music, I'll give it 1 out of 10. The rest of the game is just contemptible bollocks. So that brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.